Uh, hey, welcome to Class Act Media. I'm Jack.
And I'm Ross.
And welcome back to Nothing Matters, the show on the internet where two white guys with beards talk about a weird movie they just watched because nobody has done that before. And
Breaking new ground.
Today, we have a very special episode. Obviously, our first guest and a very, very special movie. We're Back, A Dinosaur's Story. So, a little backstory. I had no idea what this movie was before I decided to watch it. This is the way my dumb brain works. I just saw the title and I read the letterbox description and I immediately just became fascinated by it. And I posted a tweet saying, like, I'm going to make a whole podcast series talking about this movie I've never seen before. And Ross made the unfortunate decision to say that he's in without realizing that I never joke about anything and I was serious. Ross and I, we're fairly new friends, and so I decided I would nip that friendship in the bud by having him watch We're Back, A Dinosaur Story.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was getting into here. This movie is from before my time. Thankfully it was short. There's that.
Yeah.
It had that going for it. It said it was an hour 13. By my count, it was about an hour and 5 minutes long, leading me to wonder how it got into theaters in the first place.
Yeah, it flew by.
Yeah, and thanks to there not really being a story, it really just kind of, it's like little 10-minute increments of just insanity, and then it kind of ends.
Yeah, there's no story. Nothing happens. Yeah. We don't.
Well,
learn
there are attempts. There are attempts at a story.
Yeah.
The story starts several times, and then a new story begins with every new scene. I mean, I have some notes, but I don't know where to start. I mean, I know where to start, which is Steven Spielberg Presents.
Yes.
Second one, I was kind of thrown and surprised, and I had many questions. Then you see Julia Child's name in the cast, and you go, that doesn't seem right. Then you see based on the book by, and you go, that's even okay. So it's a movie that raises questions, I would say.
Yeah, and speaking of Steven Spielberg, this came out the exact same year as Jurassic Park.
Really?
Yes, and that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I wonder if this was like his attempt to, like, if there were like kids he thought who were too scared to watch Jurassic Park, but they still wanted to see a dinosaur movie. He was like, oh, parents can take their kids to see this. This is way scarier than Jurassic Park.
In a way, yeah. Narratively, definitely scarier. I mean, I would say the visual at the end of Professor Screw Eyes being consumed by ravens.
Dude, oh my god, that's the scariest scene in any
legitimately, legitimately horrifying.
What was that?
I don't know. The whole movie is kind of made up of moments like that, of just like things happen. It's these little things that if you're not paying attention, and it's easy to zone out. Honestly, when the first musical number started, I zoned out hard. I was like, this is what the movie is, okay.
No, only musical number. This movie is not a musical, but there is one musical number. And
they play the same song over and over again, so I think I conflated that.
Yeah, there's like one song in the soundtrack. It's like da 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 da.
One song.
That's it.
There's that line where with the meet cute, when the main character, who's the most archetypical 90s kid of all time, meets the girl, and she's like, oh, I don't get along with my parents. He's like, what's wrong? Did they beat you? Like, that's the first thing it's like the first thing he says to her.
It's my parents. What about your parents? Do they beat you? Oh,
that kid has so many good lines.
These are how children speak to each other.
I love. Yeah. Also, like, when he's flying on the pterodactyl for no reason, I wrote a few lines down, and one of the lines I wrote down was, let's hang a Louie and go back.
Let's hang a Louie and head on back.
Like, he's trying to coin his own name as a phrase for turning around.
Well, on a pterodactyl specifically.
Yes, specifically on a
what it means.
pterodactyl.
Yeah. No, to be honest, it feels weird to say, I was a bit disappointed by this movie in a way. I expected it to be a little more out there and crazy. It was just too much. I think what held it back from being like a insane classic to me was that it was missing that kind of that through line of effort where it was trying to like get you. I never felt like I knew what this movie was going for at all.
Yeah.
So it was just like, if you told me it was directed by like David Lynch at the end, I was like, okay, sure, why not?
David Lynch wishes he could make a movie this
I
way.
mean, yeah, this unsettling, this disturbing.
I want to talk about. We were talking about the music earlier. I want to talk about "Roll Back the Rock," the only musical number. I got things to say about "Roll Back the Rock." One, when it starts, Rex, the incredibly creatively named T-Rex, is Rex.
Yeah.
He looks like he's not in full control of his body. Like, he looks like he's horrified about what's about to happen. Like, oh God, I don't have control of myself right now.
That's true. He does.
And 2, I checked. It is on Spotify, and yes, I have added it to my playlist.
I will do that immediately after this. That's amazing.
Because
I'm so happy about that.
It kind of slaps. Like, is that just me, or does Roll Back the Rock kind of slap?
It has a very nostalgic quality to it. I'm no music critic, but it's the kind of thing where I listen to it and it reminds me of like something I would hear on the radio as a kid. I don't know what it is. Something about it. Yeah, that was kind of the point where I was like, oh, this is just going to be all over the place. Like, where I was like, I kind of gave up on trying to find something the movie was going for at all. And I was like, well, did you know John Malkovich has a terrible grudge against this movie?
Does he? I did not know anything about it.
I was reading the IMDb trivia looking for anything interesting to happen while the 1 hour runtime went by. So originally John Malkovich was going to be Professor Screweyes, but he dropped out because of creative differences. And then when it released, he was like very vocally critical of it and saying that the script wasn't fully realized and it was quote subpar to say the least. So I'm just reading off the trivia right now. So to this day, Malkovich generally refuses to talk about the film. In a rare 2003 interview, he made a brief allusion to the movie, saying, Good ideas go to die in Hollywood. I worked on an animated movie about dinosaurs in New York once. It was completely bureaucratized. They took something that had art in it and made it and put it in the laps of people who only cared about the bottom line, and look what happened. In a later portion of the interview, Malkovich went on to say, yeah, projects like We're Back, a dinosaur story. They just make you sick. That's why I left this town. It's all about the money, the bottom line. It's disgusting. I don't disagree with his full... what he's saying, his full point. It is disgusting in a way, but I think I don't see this as like a trend chasing money grubbing thing. It's more just like, I don't think anyone tried with this. Like, what did anyone care about this?
Release the Malkovich cut. See, I need to see what his vision for the movie was.
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, imagining John Malkovich just saying that and complaining about this movie is already funnier than any joke in this movie. Imagining Professor Screweyes. I can't get over that name. Imagining Professor Screweyes opening his mouth and John Malkovich's voice coming out is like incredible to me. That's astonishing.
Hello, it's Osborne Cox. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, like, as weird as it is to hear like Julia Child's voice coming out of what was her name? Dr. Bleeb, I believe.
Yeah, Dr. Bleeb. That's from the book.
That's from the book. Okay, I did not read
the new eyes and Screw Eyes thing is not in the book. I think the kids aren't in the book either. It's in the book. It's an alien who brings the brain cereal.
So Jay Leno, is it just the Jay Leno alien?
That was Jay Leno, wasn't it? God damn.
Why was it Jay Leno? Why was
I don't
Jay
know.
Leno?
I actually, on the IMDb trivia, it said he completed his voice work 3 years before the movie's release, so I'm guessing this was kicking around for a while.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, he had, 5 lines? Like, he was barely in it. Yeah. They probably gave him, $100,000 or a spare million. Maybe this was like a tax scheme. I don't know. This may have been a scam.
I wouldn't be surprised. And
Yeah.
let's see. I have a few questions.
Okay.
Such as, why, if New Eyes and Screw Eyes are brothers, why do they have different last names?
Well, I mean, like, do we know for a fact that those are their last names? I assumed it was their first names, and they just went by professor, and they're like casual, like those cool professors. They still wear the elbow patches and the tweed jackets, but they're like, they smoke weed, and they're like, call me Chris. You know, I know a couple like that.
Maybe their last name is Eyes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
The Eyes family.
I'm just more surprised that is that like, I guess those are just futuristic naming conventions. New Eyes, and this. I mean, if you name your two sons New Eyes and Screw Eyes, you should know which one's gonna turn out evil.
It's like, and like, yeah, he said he went crazy after he lost his eye. So he put the screw
So
in.
he was.
What came first, the Screw Eye or the name Screw Eyes?
I'm assuming the names. I'm assuming his Christian name is Screw Eyes. So I don't know. I'm more concerned about what Professor Captain, whatever his prefix is, his plan. So Professor New Eyes is from the future.
Yes.
And friends with an alien.
Yes.
And he invented cereal that boosts brain functions, I guess in everyone. And he travels back in time to make the dinosaurs super intelligent, to make the dreams of 20th century children come true who want to see a real dinosaur.
Yeah. It reminds me of, have you ever seen that Spider-Man panel where it's like, he's talking to a villain and Spider-Man's like, you can rewrite human DNA on the fly, you could cure cancer, but I don't want to cure cancer.
I want to turn people into dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's this movie in a nutshell.
Yeah. I just feel like I don't want to logically nitpick the world building of We're Back, a dinosaur story in 1993, but I feel like there's an easier way of showing children dinosaurs. Like, if you're in the future and there are aliens and you have time travel, could you not just put a bunch of kids in the ship and fly around in the ancient times, just fly above where they can get you? Look, kids, there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. You can make it like a theme park thing. I don't know, like Jurassic Park. I don't know. Like, here's what I'm saying. It just what confused me was Professor New Eyes' thought process when he decided, okay, well, I'm going to team up with this alien, bring my cereal, and we're going to go back in time and bring the dinosaurs forward in time, but not forward to where I'm from, and then just leave them and let them figure it out. Like, you're just unleashing hyper-intelligent dinosaurs in New York City.
He just airdrops them into the middle
he just opens the bottom of the ship and they fall out.
And like,
they could have all died on impact.
And like, it's not like he couldn't have just taken them to the museum, because that's what he does at the end. He like picks them up from the circus and takes them directly to the museum. It's like, why didn't he do that in the first place?
I don't know.
Because they had to teach a lesson to Lisa Simpson and this child.
Yeah, I guess New Eyes just gives me like big Elon Musk energy. What he's doing doesn't make sense, but he has the money, so he can just do whatever he wants, and he doesn't pay taxes, so no one can really get to. He's too powerful. Like, Captain New Eyes for sure flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. I'm just saying,
definitely.
Like, it's all there. His name isn't in the flight logs because he removed it with time travel. But all the dinosaurs were on the island. You can't disprove it.
Absolutely. So let's see. I had other things I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah,
Please.
the bird at the beginning and the end.
That's right. Yeah. Why is
questions.
why is that the framing device of the movie?
Yeah.
Why do we need a bird family framing device?
So first of all, I love that the birds say cheap with the voices of humans. Like, they're just standing there saying cheap, cheap, cheap. Like, most movies, this is not most movies, but most movies would just have a bird sound effect. And also, how does the bird talk? Like,
Well, maybe he had some of that cereal.
like maybe, but like, we had to have a full explanation for how the dinosaurs talk. The bird just can. Like, there's
I think. Well, I guess is it like just cartoon rules where all animals can communicate no matter what? And I guess the dinosaurs can talk with humans and also with, because they're also animal. I don't know. I'll give it a pass on the talking bird. I'm willing to let that go. I'll suspend my disbelief for that. But Professor Screw Eyes' eccentric circus is, I have more grievances with.
Oh, I love that's the best part of the movie, just because it's so weird. He
appears to just have a clown. And also
why does he have a
people.
Clown? Why does he have a funny clown at his scary circus?
It's wouldn't it be like wouldn't you theme it more like the horror I don't know, why is it called the eccentric circus?
I don't know.
Why do you require a blood bond to sign up?
I love that was like the scene where I was like, okay, this is the movie. I'm so glad I'm watching this.
Well, it just raises more questions, honestly, because are New Eyes and Screw Eyes just like dudes? Are they just guys from the future? I'm assuming they're both from the future because they're brothers.
Yeah.
But why did Professor Screw Eyes come back just to start a middling circus business and scare people, and then he is eaten by ravens at the end, or does he become ravens?
He becomes one with the raven.
Yeah, I guess. Well, were ravens set up at all? Did I miss that?
Sort of. Like, remember when he's trying to tame Rex, when they're like all monstrous and stuff, one of the ravens shows up and like turns on the flares, which frees him from the mind control, so Rex tries to eat him. So I guess the ravens have been trying to kill him this whole time.
I guess. But maybe set that up more, if that's...
This movie has no time to set things up.
This movie had half an hour of extra time to get to feature length. It's an hour and 5 minutes long.
Yeah. And it like...
The end comes up after an hour and 5 minutes. That's not a movie to me. That's not feature length.
Yeah, it seems like it's really struggling to get to feature length. Like, even though it's not feature length, it's still really struggling to get there. Because they focus on the weirdest things for so long. Like, the scene where Lisa Simpson loses her hat. We focus on that for, like, what feels like a full minute. Like, the hat just floats down, lands on the head of a little girl who wanted that same hat. And that's the scene.
The resolutions of everything in this movie are insane. They're insane to me. When the kid does his whole impassioned speech about how he wanted to find a friend to like break the mind conditioning and all that, I'm like, okay. And look, a lot of children's movies don't, but this movie especially just doesn't earn those moments at all. Yeah. he meets these dinosaurs, and then the dinosaurs, I mean, I'll be honest, maybe I would be a selfish dinosaur, but if some random kid signed a blood sacrifice contract with an evil man named Professor Screw Eyes, I'd be like, that's your screw up, man. I'm sorry. We're here. Like, we're just stuck back in time or ahead of time. I don't even know. How do the dinosaurs even react to this? How would you even process what was happening to you if your brain changed that radically? And they understand, I guess, all of human history too, leading up to that, because he thinks the balloon isn't real. So there's many questions.
Like, the first thing he does as soon as he becomes intelligent is sing "Row, row, row your boat."
Row. What a personality! Thank goodness the Growmonger. It's taken 280 portions of brain grain to jumpstart that skull of yours, pal.
Yeah,
but he still has to learn how to like read and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm unclear about what the rules are for what the dinosaurs know and what they don't know. But
yeah, I don't think it's supposed to matter. I think they sold this off I didn't look into the book that much, but I think the book is a pretty straightforward, simple kind of kids book. Like, they make the dinosaurs smart and they bring them to the modern day, and then they rampage through a parade, and then they go to a museum, and that's kind of it.
Yeah,
that's kind of it, because it's a children's book, and if you're gonna add a plot to that, you have to actually add a plot. And I don't know how New Eyes and Screw Eyes came into the picture. I don't know whose idea that was. But bless them.
Yeah, I'm so glad they got like Walter Cronkite to voice New Eyes for no reason.
Yeah.
It could have been anyone.
The 90s really got away with like a lot.
Yeah.
Just we really just let the 90s do a lot of things that should not have been done.
We just let them get away with it every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it's I keep thinking about, oh, what about your parents? They beat you? Just it was like 9 a.m. I'm just sitting watching this on my laptop. I just kind of that shocked me awake. I was like, what did I just hear?
The kids could handle a lot more in the 90s.
I guess so. I mean, kids were seeing Jurassic Park in the 90s. Do you think this movie, here's actually my new fan theory about this movie. This movie was made to make Jurassic Park look better.
We do get a Jurassic Park cameo in the movie.
Yeah.
During the
apparently,
parade.
Apparently there's a Steven Spielberg animated cameo in there too. I didn't see him. I was looking for him.
Oh yeah, I did not know that.
The trivia on IMDb said that there was he walks by in the parade, I think. But if this was Steven Spielberg got wind that there was a dinosaur project coming up and he thought he had the monopoly on dinosaurs, and he's like, okay, I will destroy this project and I'll get it out. It'll be the same year. Everyone will be like, oh, this garbage dinosaur movie. I don't know which came out. Actually, I'm going to look that up right now. Which one came out first? Because I feel like Jurassic Park may have come out first, and then they'd be like, well, this new one sucks, so we'll go see the other dinosaur movie, which is Jurassic Park, one of the all-time great dinosaur movies, next to Jurassic World 2.
Obviously.
So, yeah, okay, so Jurassic Park came out June 11th, 1993, and We're Back, a Dinosaur Story, not the book. I don't read. Came out November 24th.
Okay.
So this came out much later. So I don't know. It's probably not what happened. It was probably just any other motivation, but I choose to believe that Steven Spielberg got on board with this and just ruined it, so his would be better.
I mean, we know it was in development hell for a while. If Jay Leno recorded his lines for that early in advance.
That doesn't, honestly, this being stuck in development hell doesn't shock me at all. Oh, yeah. It feels like a movie that was.
It explains a lot.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about, here's another thing I have in my notes. This is one of the most New York-y depictions of New York City like I've ever seen since Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Because I love one of the, like, there's just a guy walking past, he sees the dinosaurs, like, hey, watch where you're going. I live in New York. I live in New York. I see a dinosaur. Watch where you're going. I'm walking you.
Oh, yeah. You mess with Rex, you mess with all of us. You mess with Captain New Eyes, you mess with New York.
And I love...
That's...
I love this scene where New York cops try to arrest dinosaurs. Like,
that was pretty good.
And this, like... Yeah, it's clearly more padding. Just them running around trying not to get arrested. But it's so weird. And of course... The scene ends in the most obvious fashion. I mean, everyone's done it. The dinosaurs go into a building that's going to be demolished, and then they get exploded to Central Park. I mean, that's so predictable. Every movie's done it.
You know, I was actually reading a screenwriting book the other day, and they said if you don't know how to end your scene, just have your characters run into a demolished building. It gets blown up, and they fly to Central Park.
And I love the cops never come back into play again. It's like, I guess they just exploded.
Yeah, well, we got them, boys. Back it up.
We did.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I'm checking to see if I have anything else that it's worth addressing in this movie.
Is there anything worth addressing in this movie?
No.
Truly? Like deep down in your heart, you know, this is, I mean, I will say at least it was weird enough to be somewhat interesting, where like it seems like a new movie starts every 10 minutes with the same characters. It just keeps pivoting through tones and stories and genres even. Like, it just keeps changing,
Yeah.
which I found really interesting. More so just in terms of how did they get away with making this and putting it in theaters.
And
It's very much like a Suicide Squad scenario.
yeah. Unlike Suicide Squad, I think I could honestly see myself just popping in this movie again if I just... Because it's not good. It's very bad. But for some reason, I was never bored. I was always... Entertained is the wrong word, but I was always engrossed by it.
Invested, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
There was
I wouldn't go back to this sober.
Oh,
but...
absolutely not. But like...
No. But...
I could just like if I just wanted an experience, I would pop this movie in and watch it again.
Yeah, you can learn a lot about storytelling and how not to not to do
There is
that.
no storytelling in this movie. I love
Yeah.
the ending. It tries to like have a message. Like we cut back to the bird and he's like, "Well, did you learn something from my story?" It's like, no.
No, what was the
supposed to
bird
take
supposed to
away?
learn? I did like the very lazy tagged on thing at the end when they have the montage of photos and they're talking about like, oh yeah, and then they got back together with their parents. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, was that a part of this? Was that
Yeah.
still happening?
Was that the point?
They literally just say they made up with their parents. They just, and also, yeah, remember that?
The
Shut up,
only
shut up, kids. Go home. You've paid your money.
the only theme or like message I can glean from this movie are either respect your parents or horror movies are bad.
I guess stranger danger.
I get, yeah, don't sign a blood contract with a creepy circus owner. That's always
Don't run
a good
away and
lesson for the kids.
join Professor Screweye's eccentric circus.
I did love the circus scene. Like it was visually interesting enough to make me go, I like this. Let's traumatize some kids.
When the dinosaurs showed back up at the circus, I had forgotten the dinosaurs were in it. Like, I had just completely forgotten that part. And I was just like, okay, now that the movie's about these kids in Professor Screweye's eccentric circus.
The
Yeah, that's what it's
dinosaurs
all
are
named.
over. No more dinosaurs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the dinosaur part was weird, but okay, we're following these kids now, I guess. That whole dinosaur setup seemed weird, but I guess we're forgetting that.
Yeah.
And then I feel like, yeah, maybe I wouldn't sacrifice my life for a random child I just met.
I mean, to be fair, we did have that scene where Rex looked up too far and almost drowned, and then Louis saved his life. So that could explain it.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, they were like, oh no, we need a reason for them to like this kid. Let's have him look up too much. And then he almost dies.
Yeah. It's not Citizen Kane, but it works.
That's classic screenwriting right there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna look up some IMDb reviews. I'm just gonna go to 10 out of 10 ones and see what they say.
All right, and then
Yeah, I truly don't know how this movie at an hour and 12 even got, like, they were like, yeah, just put it out.
because
Like,
Spielberg.
they must have cut some stuff. Surely they must have cut some stuff.
Yeah, that's why we need to see the Malkovich cut.
Yeah, there's only 37. There's like 37 reviews on IMDb. That's surprising. Well, wow, what is it with this low rating? This was a good movie. I do try not to take IMDb ratings to heart, but I was flabbergasted when I saw the 5.4 rating to one of my childhood favorites. It doesn't wow me now as much at 17, but as a family film, this is a sweet and well-meaning movie. Kids will definitely love it and won't mind the flaws, and the adults can guess the actor behind each character and admire the subliminal messaging of the film.
Subliminal.
What? What is this guy on about? None of the film was preachy in any way. In fact, it has a great message that added to its sweetness. I will admit, though, that the story is on the thin side, and some scenes like Screw Eyes' death may be a tad on the scary side. You think?
That's the best scene.
But the animation is well above average with nice colors and good character animation. I will say that the animation is actually pretty good. I thought there was some good visual imagination. It could have looked a lot more boring. I feel like a lot of animated movies now don't really lean into like the creativity of just representing perspective that you can get with animation. So
Yeah.
the flying stuff all looked cool for like 93. It looked cool. I was into it for the most part. It wasn't like a waste of resources, but just everything that it was bringing to life was very strange.
Yeah, and there were some cute visual gags too. Like
Here or there.
Like he's running through the supermarket, he gets a bunch of hot dogs, he catches a robber, throws him in the police station, and then gives the hot dogs to a hot dog cart guy. That was cute. I like
Sure. I'll take that. Sure, why not? That doesn't make me angry. Like, it's just a lot of the. I guess you have to try to balance like how much of this movie is painful, and I'd say less than is not painful. That's my high praise. There's my pull quote for the poster.
It's not that painful.
It is not painful more often than it is. That is my quote. Summarize my thoughts.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that needs to be said. So before we wrap up, I said I had a surprise for you, and I'm a man.
Oh God.
I'm a man of my word. Mm-hmm. So I know the question that is probably on your mind, and I know is on the mind of every single person watching this video right now, is there We're Back a Dinosaur Story fan fiction? Well, I am happy to report that yes, there is.
No.
Yes, there is.
No.
This is.
I didn't even think of that.
This is. I went to fanfiction.net. And I found 4 entries. I found one that is Rick and Morty reviewing the movie, like a nostalgia critic video.
Oh my. What?
We're not reading that one because the one I found is much better.
But send me that one.
I'll send you that one.
Please do.
Okay.
Link in the description down below.
Link in the description to Rick and Morty watch We're Back a Dinosaur Story.
Did you check that guy's profile and see how many of those he's written?
I did not. I'm going to check it right now.
Because I can tell you for sure it's a dude writing that.
Oh, most certainly. Let's see. He has 104 stories. How many of them are Rick and Morty? There's so many Rick and Mortys. So many Rick and Mortys.
Yes.
There's a ton of them. But
this is I may have to make a whole separate video about this. We may have to dive into this.
Just about Rick and Morty, nostalgia.
My favorite fan fiction author. My new favorite fan fiction author.
But today I want to show you one written in 2013 by Shinigami Lover 2.
20 years after the release of this film, Shinigami Lover 2 is writing fan fiction about it.
We're back to Return of the Dinosaurs.
Come on, man.
Come on. I'm just as flabbergasted as you are.
You're making this up. I don't believe you.
I'm gonna read chapter 1 to you right now. 1 of 3. We're only going to read chapter 1 just to spare all of us some sanity. Author's note. This is the first time I've done a story with the miscellaneous cartoons category, so I'd like to see some nice reviews if that is okay with you. There are no reviews on this thing. We're going to be the first. The movie I am doing this story is about We're Back a Dinosaur Story, and this is the plot. A boy named RJ is having a normal life in high school, and he's close to getting together with the girl of his dreams until he digs up a magical book and someone wants it for his own purposes. Rex and the gang are sent by Captain New Eyes to get the book and make sure it's safe. After a while, RJ's world gets turned upside down as he witnesses an epic battle for one silly little book. Anyways, enjoy. So, opening
you put a lot of flavor on that I felt was not earned. you enjoyed that a little too much, man, and I didn't appreciate it.
I love this story. What can I say? Opening monologue. Before the modern era began, there was a book. Yes, you heard me right. A book.
The Bible.
We're Back a Dinosaur Story meets Jesus. The book has unknown origins, but is rumored to have magical powers. To give life back to the dead. Give death to living things. You know what? So can my bare hands. I've done it before.
Yeah, what?
Teleport things from other worlds, time travel, and much, much more. One time, it was lost for what seemed like thousands of years before falling out of Merlin, the master wizard of King Arthur's hands.
Oh my god.
The book was lost until a man named Captain New Eyes. He found it one day while fishing in the ocean. I just love the insertion of We're Back characters into Arthurian myth.
I just, all of that preamble, and then one day, a man named Captain New Eyes.
He took the book and used its wish-granting power to gain everything he needed in order to make his life mission a success. His mission was to make the wishes of all children of Earth come true. So we're retconning stuff from the original movie here.
Yeah. Was that not his wish in the movie?
It was, but it was never said that the book is what caused that wish.
Oh, okay. Well, this is, I wouldn't say this is a retcon. This is just deepening the lore.
Yeah, we're world building here.
Yeah, this is classic world building.
But then, New Eyes' brother Screw Eyes wanted it for his own evil purposes too, to give children nightmares and make them come alive. New Eyes didn't want to risk the book being found, so he buried it where his brother would never find it, in a small town called Corona, California.
Oh my god.
Again, 2013. Very, they predicted the future here with this one.
Yeah.
Anyway, normal POV. Okay, Mr. Wheatley, you're in charge of painting the sets, said the drama teacher. R.J. Wheatley was a normal 17-year-old boy with pale white skin, messy black hair, fudge brown eyes.
Oh my god.
A skinny but fit body. He even had six-pack abs.
Come on, man.
I'm not making this up.
This is a glimpse into the teenage mind that feels just painful.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like, I feel like I knew this person in high school, but it's We're Back a Dinosaur story. Why?
I definitely knew this guy in high school, and if this movie... See, this movie has, like, big crack house movie vibes, you know? Like Shark Boy and Lava Girl and B-Movie. Like, it's a movie you find in, like, a demolition site when you're digging through the rubble. It's that kind of thing. After a building's condemned, that still remains somehow. It's that kind of movie.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Where was I? His clothes were normally a black long-sleeve V-neck t-shirt, black jeans, a seatbelt style belt, worn-out black Adidas sneakers, a black wristwatch, dog tags that belonged to his uncle, and 2 wristbands that were from his favorite video game, Portal.
His uncle.
Yeah, I want to know that backstory.
Yeah, his uncle was in Nam.
The first band was the logo for Aperture Laboratories in white letters inside the black background. The second was black too, and it white lettering said "The cake is a lie." And the third one above those 2 wristbands was a black and maroon survival bracelet.
No.
I feel like I have a good sense of who R.J. Wheatley is already.
I feel like this guy had this written, and he was just like, I guess I'll add some dinosaurs.
I guess I'll add "We're Back a Dinosaur" story to this.
That's what this story is missing. It's missing a little splash of flavor, and that flavor was just a pinch of "We're Back a Dinosaur" story.
Let's see. Yes, Mrs. Schultz, said R.J. as he and his friend Alex and a few other of his peers in the class went to the PAC, Performing Arts Center. And they began... yeah, they had to, parentheses, tell us what that was.
Yeah.
And they began painting the sets for their spring musical, Carrie, the musical adaptation based on the popular Stephen King novel.
Is this Riverdale? What's going on?
It's a Riverdale oh my god, Riverdale meets
Riverdale
We're Back
ripped
a
this
Dinosaur story.
Riverdale ripped this fan fiction off, for real. That's messed up.
Oh, that's what next season on Riverdale is going to have, dinosaurs.
I would not be shocked at this point.
Alex was painting alongside RJ, and he noticed a familiar someone walk up to where they were with a paintbrush in their hand. "Oh my god, dude," Alex said. "What?" said RJ. "Cassie's walking over to you," Alex said. RJ looked to his left to see Cassie Wilkes walk over to him. Cassie was a slender figure girl with peach skin, luscious blue eyes and light brown hair that went down to her shoulder blades. Her clothes were composed of a light gray long-sleeved shirt, a wool brown vest over it that was halfway zipped up, and skinny jeans with a pair of brown boots. Hey, RJ.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
It's getting a little saucy.
It's getting a little. I feel like this is something no one should read.
Hey, RJ, she greeted softly. Oh, hi, Cassie, RJ said casually, like nothing was going on with him, when in reality, RJ was nervous. Really nervous. Cassie was a girl.
The pros.
Cassie was a girl he had a crush on since 7th grade, and he had almost every single class with her ever since. So, what's up with you? Cassie asked as she dipped her brush into the paint and started painting with RJ and Alex. Nothing. My parents are out of town and I got the house to myself for 2 straight weeks. I got plenty of food to survive those weeks, too, RJ said with a slight smile as he painted alongside Cassie. Is that a brag? I'm not gonna starve to death when my parents are out of town.
My parents got me a lot of pizza pockets. Does that get you going, girl?
Can come to my house and eat.
We can eat some Tostitos.
Where was I? That's cool. Hey, there's gonna be a party at my place next Friday, and I was wondering if you wanted to go, Cassie asked. RJ looked to Alex, and he saw that Alex gave him a nod that meant go for it. He then turned back to Cassie. I'd love to, RJ said. Cassie smiled and spoke. Great, I'll see you next Friday, Cassie said as he went over to as Cassie said, and then went over to painting another set. RJ began muttering "yes" over and over to himself in a happy and giddy tone. Yes, yes.
It's terrifying.
This is a scene from Joker.
Yeah, this is better than Joker already.
Oh,
honestly.
much better. He was happy now that he'd have a chance to tell Cassie how he felt about her. You lucky dog, Alex said as he slapped RJ's back. Dog is spelled D-A-W-G, obviously.
Of course, that's how you say it. That's how you spell it.
I know I am. What are the odds of RJ Wheatley getting invited to one of Cassie Wilkes' parties? RJ asked rhetorically. He's talking about himself in the third person.
Is it not ridiculously dorky that this guy's last name is Wheatley and he wears Portal shirts?
Oh, I didn't even think about. Oh my god.
Dude, play another video game. For real. There's lots out there.
So many.
My name is Jeremy. My name is Jeremy Master Chief. It's nice to meet you.
The bell then rang and RJ dropped his brush into the pain bucket and grabbed his bag and ran out. The pain bucket.
My life is a pain bucket.
Yes. He's still chanting yes. Yes, he cheered as he fist pumped into the air as he ran toward his car. It was a red Mustang with red racing stripes, and he began driving toward his house.
Oh my god. Why does it have red racing stripes if it's red?
And where's the dinosaurs?
How does this factor into Captain New Eyes?
Might as well take the shortcut through the woods, RJ said to himself as he made a left turn instead of a right turn and started driving through the woods behind
an easier way to get around that would be he thought, not he said to himself.
RJ is incapable of thought. RJ's wheel then hit a bump in the middle of the road and it made a sound that sounded like cracking. What was that? Shouted RJ, scared like. He got out of the car and looked at what he hit. It was a wooden crate in the dirt. What in the name of God is that? RJ whispered.
Appropriate reaction.
Oh God, it's a box. Anything but that. RJ whispered.
Dear God in heaven.
RJ whispered as he walked further toward it and pulled off the side of the wooden box and reached into it. There's so many run-on sentences here. And reached into it when he saw something inside it. It was a book that had black leather covers and brown stitches sewing up lines that could represent cuts. Whoa, this
What?
looks scary, RJ said.
This
RJ
goth kid is freaked out by a book with stitches.
RJ looked around to see if anyone was looking and carried the book back to the car and put the book in the glove box of the car and started driving back to his house. Meanwhile, a something that was placed inside the book's cover began silently beeping, silent enough that RJ can't hear it. The signal that the device inside the cover was making its way the device inside the cover was making its way to a computer in New York City. Captain New Eyes was sitting at his computer and began looking at this. Here we go, baby.
Let's go.
The book's been dug up, said the captain. He pressed a button that took him to a bird's eye view of a small town in California and saw RJ's red Mustang driving down the road from where the book was originally dug up. We've gotta get it back, New Eyes muttered. He then walked into the Museum of Natural History to see the 4 dinosaurs he brought back from the prehistoric era to make the children's wishes of seeing real dinosaurs come true. Imagine if you haven't seen We're Back, a Dinosaur Story trying to...
Yeah, well, I mean, you're getting the backstory here.
Yeah.
You're getting pretty much all you need.
I mean, I guess it's about as abrupt as it was in the movie.
Yeah.
Hey there, Captain, said Rex the T-Rex. His friends gave the captain the same greeting. Woog the Triceratops, Elsa the Pterodactyl, and Woog the Parasaurolophus. They're both Woog.
Are they? I
No.
think that was true.
I think they had different names, but
I'm
in
pretty
this
sure they
they're
had
both
different names.
Woog.
Sure. You know what? Screw it. Why not?
Guys, I need your help with something, New Eyes said. What kind of help? Elsa asked. You know the brain grain I fed you to make you guys talk and stuff? The captain asked. Can't you just imagine Walter Cronkite saying those timeless lines?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about it? Asked Woog. Well, I got the recipe for it from a book called Merlin's Lexicon. I buried it somewhere else to prevent it from getting in the hands of Screw Eyes. Now someone has dug it up, New Eyes said. Golly, that's terrible, Rex exclaimed. The captain merely nodded. If that book falls into the wrong hands, it could cause disaster. One the world would bow to its knees before, said the captain. What is it you want us to do, sir? Dweeb asked in his happy, goofy voice he used almost all the time. What do you mean almost? That's his voice.
That's his voice.
That's just what it sounds like.
They all sound like that.
Yeah. I want you guys to find whoever has the book now and protect them and the book with your lives. You are that person's and that book's guardians, Captain New Eyes said. Rex then began thinking. It had been an awful long time since he'd seen Louie and Cecilia. Maybe whoever had this book could be their new friend. Wait, so they just abandoned them?
Yeah, screw them. They're done.
Yeah, what a disappointing sequel. We'll do it, Rex cheered. I'll go get the ship ready, said the captain. After a while, they all got loaded onto the ship. Then they took off towards Corona, California. Meanwhile, in a government lab, a man rushed over to tell his boss, who was a muscular man with 3 scratch marks on his face and white hair
Oh my
and
God.
a green army uniform with medals
You know,
and
like
badges.
the army.
Yeah. What is Sergeant? He asked at night. General Lee, sir. We've picked up a signal that's coming from Merlin's lexicon. Lee then raised his eyebrow in interest. Did you trace it? He asked. The sergeant nodded. Good. With that book, we can make Project Dino Men a reality. Get the troops ready and prepare to head to the source, Lee ordered. The sergeant did as ordered and ran towards the door. That book is as good as mine, Lee cheered with a sinister smile.
What?
Author's note. Yeah, Yeah, now we know about RJ and the lexicon, and the dinosaurs are going to find the book. Rex wanting a new friend to make, and this General Lee guy wanting the book for some sort of Dino Men project. Lots more to come in the next chapter. Depends if I've got enough time to spare. Please review, thanks, and no flames, please. This is my first We're Back a Dinosaur story fic, so please be nice.
I'm feeling out the world right now. I don't know if it's a good fit for me yet, so... Yeah, well...
Yeah, that was chapter 1. What did you think?
I mean, it's intriguing. I definitely want to know more.
There are 3 chapters, but I think I'll save perhaps the next 2 chapters for another time because
Okay.
I'm sweltering right now in my recording
too.
booth and I want to get out as fast as possible.
Fair.
All right. So, do you have anything else you'd like to say about We're Back a Dinosaur story before we finish up?
If you have a few beers around your house and you have a spare hour, you could do worse.
That's perhaps the best thing anyone could say about the film.
It's very silly. It's very silly, but it's never like offensive or ridiculous. It's interesting. It's always interesting, and I was always waiting to see where it was going next.
Yeah.
Not in a good way, never in a good way, but always in a consistent way.
You know what? I recommend it. I'm going to recommend We're Back a Dinosaur story. I'm going to go there. I'm going to be that person, going to be that spokesperson for this movie that no one else has. No one else is willing to do it. I'll do it. I'll step in and say, watch We're Back a Dinosaur story. It's not good. But
the American school system failed you.
it's not good, but you gotta. I think it's just an experience people need to have, and that's
The
what
word recommend is so powerful. I don't know if this movie is worthy of that word.
That's true. It's a strong word.
It's a strong word.
I'll say that I encourage people to check it out.
It is a necessity. If you care about art.
if you care about cinema, you will.
If you
watch
care
it.
about animation or filmmaking, both as art forms, and this is essential viewing, yes.
Yes. All right. So with that, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. See you next time, guys.
We're Back, a dinosaur story, featuring the voices of John Goodman,
Roll back to the dawn of time when Earth was smoking and the lava flowed.
Martin Short,
I like comedy myself.
Jay Leno,
You're gonna love this.
Julia Child,
Welcome.
and Walter Cronkite.
And that's the way it is.